Hey folks, this is Ross. I was recently asked if I could show or make a video on how to cord wrap a knife for a handle instead of having wood or micarta or anything like that. I have cord wrapped several knives, and the way I do it, I use paracord, which I have a couple pieces here and I'll demonstrate how it's done. And the way I end up doing it, use two separate pieces of paracord, and it makes the entire handle and a lanyard, and it's all one solid, very comfortable thing. It's not simply just wrapped around like a spiral. It's along the lines of a Tsukamaki style grip. Tsukamaki is the kind of handle material that katana swords have. It's the way that they turn it and fold it upon itself and twist it, and this isn't exactly like that, but it's pretty close. It ends up looking somewhat similar, and the grip itself feels a lot the same, and it feels very good. So this little blank here, this is about an 8-inch knife. The handle is about 4.5 inches, and the average, as far as I've been able to tell, as far as how much paracord you need per inch of handle, is about 10 to 12 inches per inch. So if you're out in the woods or whatever and you have a knife that's cord wrapped like this and you find yourself in a pinch needing more paracord, your knife is toting around like this little one right here is about 10 feet almost. So well, let's get started. Got my paracord there, got the blank, and you can do this just freehand, holding it and doing it all just kind of sitting here like this. It's more difficult than if you had a vise. I have a vise here just slightly out of camera view. It'll be in view in a moment, and that helps tremendously. But if you don't have a vise, you can still do this by hand. It's not that big of a deal. So let's get started. We got our knife set in the vise nice and tight. It's not going to move anywhere. Got the two separate pieces of paracord. In this case, these are about 50 inches long. And one other thing, this blank right here, it is of course a blank, so it's not completely done. But whenever I go to cord wrap, I end up using a Dremel tool or whatever I can use, a file, anything, and make little grooves right about here, here, and then down here. And that's, you know, the beginning and the end of where the wrap is. That way, and it's just little grooves, little tiny minuscule grooves that the paracord can sit in whenever you finally get down to the last ones on each end. And the reason for that is it'll keep it from drifting. It's wrapped really tight in anyway, and it doesn't like to move once you get it all completely done. But having those little grooves in there that the paracord sits in just ensures it's not going to go anywhere at all. In this case, I don't have those yet, but you get the idea. So, well, the way you begin, in this case, there are holes drilled here, and we put one through one side, and we will bring the other piece through the other side. I have myself a little screwdriver here to help bring that through. Now the length, how far you want to pull these through, is about right there. You don't want to bring them all the way down the entire length of the handle. You just want to bring them almost to that bottommost hole in the handle. And I'll zoom in here a little bit so you can see. Right to about there. And as you go along, as you're wrapping this around the handle all the way up, this piece will tend to drift around and move and all this. But as you go, you'll be able to adjust this however you need, and just keep it right down the middle, to the back, to the front. Really up to you, whatever you'd like to do. Okay, got a little bit better of an angle here so that we can get ourselves started. Now I got the back of the knife here, front over on this side. Got our pieces through, lined up, and the trickiest part of the whole process is getting started. At this point, what you do, bring both of the pieces forward like so, and you will drape them like that. Now this piece here from the front, just bring it around, and the piece from the back, bring it around as well, to where they're both coming off this way. Then this one we will bring like so. And once you have them both on this side, you will twist like that. Now, this piece here that you just twisted, it's going to want to go underneath right there. You don't want that. It comes up over like that. And the front piece you don't have to worry about. It just let it go where it wants to go. And on the back, doing the same thing. And it's the piece from the back of the knife that always twists toward the front. And we'll do this several times, so you'll really get to actually see it in some better detail. So again, now they're out the front. The one from the back crosses over the one from the front always. Bring them tight, twist. Now this part right here, as you see, you can adjust that so that you can get them all perfectly lined up. And once you do, again, bring this up over and let that one from the front, just let it go where it wants to go. And always, always, always keep everything real tight, and then you'll have a handle that won't ever want to drift. It'll be too tight. Okay, now we're to the point where we're going to be covering up this right here, which really isn't a problem as you go. It's slow enough of a process to where, like I mentioned before, this is going to drift a little bit, but you can always adjust it. You'll always have time. There won't be any screw-ups. It's easy done. So again, the one from the back crosses over the one from the front. Bring them tight and twist. Make sure it's all lined up the way you want, and then fold that over. Make sure it's tight. Make sure they're all touching and real tight against each other. And in the back, I know you can't see, but I'm doing the exact same thing. It's just reversed. I'm bringing the piece from the back over in the same way, just on the opposite side. Got it from the front again here. Cross them, make sure they're nice and tight. And we twist and cross over the top.